Like a year ago, I came back and I was looking for a job and she needed someone, so they just took me.
Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to our channel. Kylie Jenner is a makeup mogul with a jet-setting lifestyle, so keeping her schedule straight is a full-time job. Being her personal assistant is a lot more than just volunteering your arm for swatches. Does being Kylie Jenner's personal assistant sound like a dream job? Well, you might be surprised at how easily Victoria Villarreal ended up with this coveted position. Let's talk about the life of Kylie Jenner's personal assistant. As the youngest member of the Kardashian Jenner clan, Kylie Jenner practically grew up on camera thanks to the popularity of her family's reality TV show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and her huge social media following. It feels like we know every last detail about Kylie's life, but have you ever wondered what the life of her personal assistant looks like? Victoria Villarreal is Kylie's former assistant who worked for the beauty mogul for 5 years from 2015 to 2020. Victoria, whose full name is Victoria Villarreal Gamero, hails from Caracas, Venezuela. As a child, she moved quite a bit with her family and lived in Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, and Texas before in Los Angeles. Victoria Villarreal started out studying visual communications at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles and browsing Instagram in her spare time. When she was scrolling, she discovered someone who worked for Generations and had to send out quite a few emails before she got one back. Victoria interviewed for an internship and said the company took not just her resume, but her personality into consideration when they picked her. But interning at Jenner Communications wasn't precisely exciting most of the times. According to Victoria, her main duty was to make the place presentable when the camera showed up. The only thing that made her position seem glam was the fact that she was doing it all for the Kardashian Jenner family. After Victoria graduated, she spent a year in Spain before returning to LA and returning to Jenner Communications as a full-time office manager. This time she has a lot of work to do. Victoria made sure the office was spotless, ordered supplies, fielded phone calls, and set up meetings. After being there for only a few weeks, Kylie decided she was in need of a personal assistant. Since Victoria was already on the payroll and Kylie knew who she was, she landed the job and talked about being at the right place at the right time. But working as Kylie's personal assistant wasn't like a 9 to 5. She was now on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in case Kylie needed anything. But far from being put out, Victoria believes that's part of the PA job description. Working for this famous family means a lot more than simply being on call. Even though they're no strangers to reality television, they want to be the ones who control how much of their private lives are public. So being able to keep secrets is an absolute must if you're working for anyone in the family. Victoria says that when she first started, Kylie called her into her room, closed the door, and unloaded all of her secrets. Good thing Victoria's the trustworthy type then. She was even one of the first people to find out that Kylie was pregnant with her daughter Stormi. However, her job required a lot of skills. She admits that the most intimidating part was just getting Kylie to like her as a best friend, which might not have been in the official job description, but was clearly implied. Of course, Victoria had to do a lot more than simply keep Kylie's confidence. She started out by managing her mansion, making sure the pantry was stocked and everything was kept tidy. But before long, her duties shifted to Kylie's life and ensuring things run as smoothly as possible. It was Victoria who booked all of her spray tan and manicure appointments, and those tasks became all the more important when Kylie wanted to attend formal events. Then Victoria would have to coordinate with hairstylists, designers, makeup artists, and figure out how to get her red carpet ready. In addition to scheduling, Victoria did have to deal with some very particular demands from Kylie. Kylie's mom, Kris Jenner, apparently liked Victoria so much that she promoted her to the position of an office manager and even had a nickname for her, Princess Victoria. Soon after becoming promoted, Victoria was asked to be Kylie's assistant, which was no less than a lucky charm for Victoria Villarreal. Apparently, this star is very strict about her morning smoothie and expects her employees to know what flavor she wants. If the drink is deemed too warm, or if she catches someone touching the straw, she refuses to drink it and demands a new one. She had tons of responsibilities, but that doesn't mean she was always perfect. In fact, the very first time the pair was supposed to travel together, she slept through her alarm and Kylie had to drive herself to the airport. Victoria was mortified, but luckily Kylie wasn't too upset. Over the years, the two of them became close friends. In addition to having a working relationship, so needless to say, people were stunned when they learned that Victoria had up and quit and was no longer working for Kylie. Everyone wanted to know what happened between them, and an anonymous source told US Weekly that they had the answers. Allegedly, Victoria wasn't satisfied being an assistant to a social media star like Kylie. She wanted her own followers and had quit her job to pursue her career as a social media influencer. Since she has over 987,000 followers on Instagram, this wasn't too hard to believe, but even though it sounds reasonable, according to Victoria, it's just not true. She says that after working as Kylie's personal assistant for 5 years, she felt it was time to move on professionally. Victoria told the Girl Call podcast that it was a hard decision, but she's determined to grow and felt that she couldn't do that in her current position. She claims that she's constantly networking and exploring new ideas, and it's only a matter of time before she finds inspiration on what to do next. As for her relationship with Kylie, that's doing just fine. Both Kylie and Victoria claim that they're closer than ever, and their social media posts definitely reflect this. According to Victoria, she realized that they were blurring the line between business and friendship when Kylie would call her up to chat about her personal life and other topics that definitely weren't work-related. Now that she's no longer an employee, these two are free to be just besties. So what do you guys think about Kylie Jenner's personal assistant, or rather former personal assistant? Does this sound like a dream job to you, or would it be a nightmare? But if there's one thing we've learned, it's that being her assistant isn't an easy job at all. But Victoria and Kylie's bond, even after Victoria's quitting, is still very strong. However, we also know that Victoria and Kylie's bond, even after Victoria's quitting, is still very strong to this day. Before we end this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, take care and adios.